What I'm pretty much looking to do is to get kind of a head nod to kind of go to bid and see where the instrument totals kind of come back. And depending on what the amounts are, either kind of break it up if it comes in reasonable at a 1 year kind of interval for like replacement of such instruments, or if it's a little bit higher, maybe do a 2 or 3 year kind of phase in depending on how those bids come back.
So the memo said there's a bid attached, but you said you're going to go out to bid, so you didn't.
Correct. There is a
Okay.
bid. There should be a bid document attached.
I don't see it. Do you guys?
A bid document?
Correct. The
Just
actual.
to let them know what it looks like?
Correct.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah.
but no
Oh.
bids. We haven't
Yeah, we
gone.
have
They're
not
just
received bids. Yeah.
it's just a
Okay.
request to go out to bid, but they
Mhm.
know what a bid is.
Yeah.
So it's okay.
I don't see it, but that's fine. Okay. All right. And when do we think you're going to do that by?
So if we get it out and published here in January, we should have results probably back at end of February and ready for March.
Okay.
About 8-week process, 6 to 8 weeks total.
And then we'll buy it for next year or for this year still?
Depending on the lead time for the instruments, some are going to be multiple weeks, a couple months. Others are like some of the Yamaha products are going to be pretty much right off the shelf, ready to go.
Okay.
So it just depends on the instrument itself.
Okay. All right. Any questions?
No, I guess I'm just curious. How does it work? Does the district fund all of that, or do the families pay a rental fee? I know some districts, there's a rental fee involved, and
That's a great question. So these are the classroom sets.
Mhm.
So
Oh.
these are specifically for band.
oh, I see.
Mhm.
Okay.
They're the larger instruments
Correct.
too. So like the
Oh.
ones that parents wouldn't buy and they'd bring back and forth,
Yeah.
like for
You'll-
the middle school and the high school, right?
Correct. You'll notice a lot of it's percussion based. A lot of
The
it's
big stuff.
Xylophones.
The
Xylophone, exactly.
Yes, yes. yes.
There's a couple tutbas in there.
Yeah, sure.
Sousaphones are
Okay.
in there. Just larger baritone instruments, if you
Oh,
will.
okay.
So
I
more
see.
classroom sets.
Mm.
Okay.
Okay. All right.
Excellent.
Next is review revisions to IASB press board policies.
Yes, in your packet, you have a number of press policies that are there for review. The majority of these, as you'll note from the memo there, involve language changes. Just minor language changes for the most part. I do want to draw your attention to policy 5230, and that is regarding professional personnel maintaining student discipline. Our recommendation is that we revert to the current press version because what is being recommended reverts or recommends that we use what's in our collective bargaining agreement, which is silent on disciplinary action, and the press policy is much more robust in this regard.
I would support that.
Okay. I'm okay with all that. These are all recommended by the IASB. That's where we got them from, right?
Exactly.
That is correct.
Okay. All right. So I don't have to read them all?
Nope.
Okay.
They're just present there on the agenda, letting the public know that the board is doing this as part of the first reading. And it'll go to in notes for the next board meeting as part of first read for the full board. And then when it comes back again to the full board, it'll be for approval after a second reading. Yep.
Okay, cool.
Mhm.
Frontline proactive recruiting and hiring proposal.
Again, in your packet, you'll notice a memo for a proposal for frontline recruiting. What we are trying to do again, I brought to you something in the summer to try and, again, along the lines of modernizing our human resources infrastructure, is to go out and be proactive in our recruiting. Typically, we're in what I would call a reactive. Most of our districts are in a reactive recruiting model. Or a passive recruiting model would be a better way to say it, not reactive. My apologies. We wait for candidates to apply, even though we do have some things where we have incentives. This would allow us to look at any candidate who hovers over our job, whether or not they apply. We can send targeted email campaigns for hard to fill positions. We can attach those with things that sell our district, sell the things that we want to do, talk about our incentives, and that's hopefully a way that we can begin to fill hard to fill vacancies. And we would pay for this out of our teacher vacancy grant.
Didn't we buy in the fall LinkedIn, was it? LinkedIn Professional or some service for,
We have that too.
how's that? Is it working? Do we know?
Last year, I believe there was a LinkedIn trial, and that netted us a few jobs, not enough to warrant coming back to you for another,
Okay.
for what they would charge us. It was in the area of $25,000 to continue that effort. This would be a much more targeted effort to do that over education job boards, specifically for hard to fill positions.
And somebody's used this. This is why you're recommending it. I mean, some other school districts or.
Other school districts are using it, and we've researched it as well.
Okay. So do we need to take a vote on this? I don't see an action item.
This would
No.
not come for action this evening. This is for presentation at the committee. It would go, we're presenting it for the next board meeting for action.
We'll give all the board members the opportunity to read the notes and then weigh in too before they vote. Yeah.
Cool. Okay. Let's see. Next.
I just have
is-
one question,
Yeah.
Judd.
Yeah.
What's considered a hard to fill area? You know, how do we define that?
Well, that can be any, for instance, special education teachers are a hard to fill area. Sometimes our dual language positions can be considered hard to fill, to have Spanish speaking individuals. We may consider middle school math to be a hard to fill position because middle school math teachers are hard to find. Middle school science can often be a hard to fill position. Some of our positions in high school in the CTE categories can be considered hard to fill. Any kind of thing that might be, I'm going to describe it in a general term, like a niche position that maybe somebody only has a specific certification for, can be hard to fill. So we look at those, and we know across the nation that we have educator shortages in a lot of these areas. So we want to go out and be proactive in trying to recruit for those hard to fill positions. In addition to that, those are just the certified staff, Mr. Schubert. But in addition to that, we know that in our classified ranks that we have a number of teacher assistants, parapros, that can also be hard to fill as well.
Okay.
Thank you.
Easy for you to say. Intergovernmental agreement between the Illinois State Board of Education and EASD, Visiting International Teachers Program.
This is again is an informational item that will go for action, proposed to go to action for the next board meeting. We have consistently for the past several years used the Visiting International Teacher Program to recruit teachers from foreign countries to come and work in our district. A lot of teachers we've recruited from Spain and Mexico, other places have come to work in our district to serve our students. In order for us to continue to use this program with the Illinois State Board of Education, we are required to sign this intergovernmental agreement for the next 5 years, so that we need to do so by the end of February. So we are bringing it to your attention this evening, and then would hope to drop down for approval at the next board meeting.
So has it worked, the one where we got the teachers from Spain? Is it? Yeah.
Yes, we continue to have teachers from Spain and other countries that are coming to work with us. And as you note, a couple board meetings ago, we came back and asked for some of our teachers who have been here for some time. Some of them want to stay, and we extend that visa process as well.
Cool. Okay. Any issues? Any questions on this? No? Okay. Next is request for one FTE special education classroom teacher assistant for EAEC.
There is we have 3 special education classrooms, Dreams classrooms at the East Aurora Extension campus. At this point, the numbers are such that if we do not add a teacher assistant, we'll be out of compliance. We hadn't had one there for several years. And now due to enrollment numbers, we are in need of one. So we are making you aware of that tonight. And would like to bring that down for action at the next board meeting.
Sounds good. Okay. Moving on that. Request for 6.16 overloads for special education resource at Waldo Middle School.
This is to replace a teacher who recently resigned, and it would cover each of her instructional class periods. That would be giving an overload, 1/6 of their salary to 6 teachers to cover those classes. This happens to be a special education classroom. So in order to make sure that we serve the needs of those students, we are recommending an overload to make sure that those students do get their necessary minutes as dictated by their IEP.
Okay. No issues. Okay. Next is request for 50.1 overloads at East Aurora High School.
There's one more before that.
Oh, did I miss one?
Cowherd.
Coward. Sorry. Request for 1. Oh, didn't we do that? A different point was. Yep. Sorry. Request for 1.16 overload for ESL 1 and 2 at Coward Middle School.
That is a request based on the increase of student enrollment at Cowherd Middle School to service students in ESL 1 and 2. So that we would request an overload in that regard to help service those students whose language needs dictate additional support based on student enrollment.
Okay. No issues with that? Okay. Now we're going to go to the one that I read. Let's see. Request for 50.1 overloads at East Aurora High School.
These are an extension of overloads that were approved by the Board of Education in the fall. So it would be a continuation of the instructional services provided to students. These are a 1 semester overload for 1 class period, with the addition of 2 that were for NJROTC for an instructor who has recently resigned.
Okay. No issues. Okay. Request for 4 FTE 1-to-1 teacher assistants for Brady, Gates, and East Aurora High School.
And again, these should say an emergency because we do have, due to recent changes in IEP and or students moving into the district, we do have students who are in need of a 1-to-1 teacher assistant in each of these locations. So we are recommending the approval of these. And pardon me, Mr. Lofsher, I should have noted that the overloads, as well as the request for this particular, are being asked to come down for action this evening.
Okay. So all of these overloads we should vote on? Okay.
The overloads for Waldo, Cowherd, East Aurora High School, and the emergency 1-to-1 teacher assistants we are requesting to come for action this
An
evening.
extension?
Extension would go for the next board meeting. Dr.
We got
Rowe.
time on that one?
Correct.
Okay, got it. So just G through J.
Okay. All right. So Bruce, do you want to make a motion to, or can we just vote on it? Do we need to make a motion?
No,
Just
you
a
don't,
consensus, right?
just, yeah, consensus, because
Consensus?
it's gonna go, it's on the agenda for tonight.
Okay, so consensus on number 4, G through J. Okay, fair enough. That's it. Adjournment.
Manager, okay.
Adjournment 5:46.
Thank you. Thank you. Great job, guys.